solar, and was it worth it, and what went wrong? Well, I can say that not much went wrong. Um, Everything I ordered that was like inverters and the wiring, the panels, that type of stuff was from Signature Solar. So I do suggest going there because the pricing and the warranty, and they're actually going to be around. I'm not trying to make a commercial for them, but that's just the way it is. 2 years on solar. It's been interesting because it's been very boring. To this transfer switch I'm out, that is the secret to success for this off-grid inverter. Because like I said, everything in this house is that is 110 is running off this 3,000 watt inverter, not my 220 stuff. As you guys know, kitchen stove, dryer, water heater, heat pump, none of that stuff is solar friendly. As in it uses a lot. So you can put it on solar, but I don't really suggest it unless you've got the extra pocket money. This was a budget build. So that if you're thinking that I wanted to spend 20 grand or something like that, no, I didn't spend 20 grand. And that's the great part because I'm almost paid off. If we look here, here's the last 2 years. As in April, this would be April 1st, that'd be March, the bill. Going down through here, $1,494 saved. That is amazing to me because, $1,490, that $1,500 is not a lot of money to some people, but that's a lot of money to me over the course of 2 years because I did not have to depend on the grid to keep me going. I actually had a lot of power outages out here because I live in the middle of the woods, and we get issues to where it may be down for 2 hours or 2 days, and I never really noticed it. When it did go out, the only thing I couldn't do was the things that I told you about, the dryer, the AC unit, and all of that. And I plugged in a regular AC window unit one time whenever the power went out and it was hot and all that type of stuff. And it was a small unit and it ran well off the solar. And I do have a generator, so I just did not have a problem. I never used the generator since the solar came in to the house, and hey, I just find it absolutely wonderful. So $1,500 saved on 2 years. You can't complain about that. If you want to go back to one of my other first videos, kind of like the start to finish, it shows you everything that I did. Survived 80-mile-an-hour winds with no movement. That was within the first week or so. So I used the EG4 bright mount rack, and I did not have no electricians install this. We put ground on, we watched videos. That's all it took was watching a bunch of videos, and went from there. Had a buddy come out that had a skid steer with the kind of the ditch witch on it, and on one of the things I do suggest if you're putting in this EG4 3000 or any other inverter, behind this concrete board, there is a bunch of 1x6s. I just had them left over, so I didn't want to go buy anything. Cut them to length, wall to this wall, and I just went up all the way. That way, all of this stuff I can just screw into the wall at any place, and it's going to hit a board. And added a lot of structural integrity because this EG4 3000 is not on 16-inch center, which my house is on the studs. Had to accommodate for that, but I also wanted to be able to put anything anywhere on this wall. I do have 3 of the EG4 LL batteries. They are very, very reliable. The only thing I don't like is if you don't charge to 100% every day. The number one battery, the closest to the inverter, anyway, with the communication, it's the percentage is going to start dropping a little bit by a little bit. The others will say, they're 80%. The first one will say it's down to 70%. All right, now that's just one of the things that you're going to have to deal with if you're using these server rack type batteries. It goes across the board like that, so it's not just the EG4 LLs. Even the bigger ones will do it. The cabinet size batteries or the wall mount batteries, a lot of them, the first one in line, if it doesn't get charged to 100% the first day, second day, and the third day, it's going to start dropping day by day. I think the max I got was 12% less on the first one than the others. And speaking of which, on the EG4 3000, it did not ring into my head whenever it said it has a 5,000 watt input. All right. That's one of the things, that said, oh, you don't have to spend the money for the 6,000 XP for the 3,800 watts that I have coming in anyway. It clips it at 3,000. It's actually 27.1 is the highest I got, and that's because even though I've got 3,800 watt of panels, it will never get that high coming into my batteries or supplying the house, because the 3,000, it will clip it down to 2.7, 2.8 area. That sucks. That really sucks. I really thought that the 5,000 watt input was, going to be inputting into the batteries and all the above, but it clips it at 3,000 watt. I actually thought something was wrong. Right here, I ordered an MC4 connector, actually a little package of them from Amazon. And this one that you can see right here is about the only one I had to use, I believe. And I'm not going to say the name, but other people say that they are great. It burnt in two. One day I didn't have no charge, and I went out and looked, and these two wires were separated. Just laying there on the ground. I'm surprised nothing got shocked, but at any rate, the way I have it set up there and wire tied, they were just apart, but somebody could have got electrocuted. But at any rate, that MC4 connector, make sure you buy a quality one, not something that has RV at the end of it. Don't buy that brand. I wouldn't suggest it anyway. Anywho, let's continue on. The rest of the panels, the Silfab 380 watt panels, flawless, no damage from hell, none of that. The EG4 bright mount worked out fine, no problems. The EG4 3000, no problems. The EG4 3000 battery, really no problems. Got all three of them lined up here. If you need any input, go to the past videos. Let's see, like I said, on the wiring, I thought I was going to do something different by now, upgrading to the 6,000 XP. That's why I left all this exposed. I have not, so I'm going to have to tidy everything up. But like I said, I do recommend one of these transfer switches, and that way you can use your utility when you need it. But like I said, I don't want to suggest this brand for what we're doing. This is the 50 amp version. Whenever I was messing with one of these switches one time, trying to go up or down, it broke, and they sent me another one. But the biggest ordeal, right out of the box, these meters were not working at all and still don't work. And these breakers, were not hooked up. Everything was working fine, but if you turn one of them off, it does not shut the circuit off. So these breakers had to be rehooked up, all that type of stuff. So that sucked. So go for the more expensive brand. I was told not to use the ones with the bus fuses, little round fuses. I don't know. Go with a higher quality one if at all possible. But anyway, hate to be the little talking head, and if you guys really think about going with solar, EG4 seems to be a very quality product, so I can't not recommend it. For the money, you can't beat it. Like I said from the beginning, this was a budget build, and that's why I went with everything I went with, and it worked out. So, in conclusion, the cheap stuff, Amazon, don't even think about it, especially the wiring. Do not get cheap wiring. Do not get cheap wiring adapters or any type of that stuff. Everything in my system worked, and it works flawlessly besides the stuff I bought elsewhere. So if you don't mind, buy quality stuff. Get off grid if you want. You don't have to have an off. I would actually like to went with a hybrid system, because I am all the time charging up to 100% by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, somewhere in that area. And, I'm running stuff throughout the day, yes, but I could be getting money back into my wallet through the electric company, and I'm not. So, a hybrid setup, if you've got the extra money, do it. Absolutely do a hybrid system if you can, and then you could do it outside because they are waterproof, or most of them are anyway. Check into it, but something like if I go to the Signature Solar, there's the 6000 XP. That's what I should have went with, but I did not. Is all over money. Now, if we go with the EG4 FlexBox or one of the others, the hybrid, I would love to see one of those out by my pole, running out there where I didn't have to listen to it. And by the way, the 6000 XP is quieter than the 3000. So, in conclusion, have a great time. If you need any help, look at my previous videos. Look at other people. Will Prouse tests all this stuff. Look at his channel. There's a lot of people out there that are just affiliates, and they're going to blow smoke up your rear trying to sell you something. Or, click my link, click my link. I'm not telling you to click my link, but I do have one in the description. At any rate, Andrew out. Have a great one.